have Joachim holding on to power, even if Jerusalem was about to burn around him. Remember, Jeremiah wrote the book of Lamentations many years before the destruction of Jerusalem. What we've seen in the last few days has been predicted. It was predicted with the Hitnatkut. The people who knew were saying this. Someone last night was saying to me, "How can you know it's not this fault, not their fault?" What do you mean? Anybody with two eyes could have seen what's happening. The wiser people have told us. So-called expert told us this would be perfectly fine. That's how you knew it wasn't going to be fine. This had been warned about. You've been warned. You knew it was going. The only question was when, and that's most unfortunate. I am still amused by events more than 10 years ago, teaching in high school students who were born after the Oslo Accords. You tell them they learn about Jewish history, they learn about the Zionist movement, they learn about the Yom Kippur War, they learn everything, and then they hear about Oslo and they think that this is the most ridiculous thing they've ever heard. Yeah, sometimes you have to just be a child to understand that adults sometimes do things that are incredibly foolish. They become desperate. They have gods other than God, religions other than Judaism, and they are very big sticklers. They're very deeply religious people, and they will hold on to their Ikrei Amunah at all costs, even if it is almost suicidal. I'd like to share, if I may, two things that were sent to me online that actually are relevant to this issue. And before we go further, I'll put it on the screen. Two pictures of things. This was something that was shared on Israeli television. And I believe in listening to the enemy. The enemy says what they're doing, their preparations, why they did what they did. And it says here, this is basically interrogation of a captured terrorist. He said that we've been actually preparing this attack for more than a year. And the protests in Israel encouraged us. Remember, there was a lot of protests. Basically, there was a major protest movement, the fifth column of better to destroy the state and to fight against our neighbors and to weaken our military. Basically, the elite members of different armed forces refused to serve. Okay, they saw this. And he says also it took 5 hours for anybody to actually shoot at us. Okay, good. You hear it from his mouth. And we were 1,000 warriors, 1,000 troops. Okay, we made 15 breaches in the border fence, and we were surprised that the IDF was not waiting for us. We came right through. It was so easy. Yes, they were given this on a silver platter. The next one is over here. Someone who's basically thanking these various protesters who allowed or set the stage for these things to happen. See, he's over here. He says, "Thank you to all those pilots who refused to serve, and these other refuseniks." There's a Shikma Bressler who's a fifth columnist. I'm not so familiar with her, thank God. And Barack, all the usual names over here. I'm sure you could add other names. And the Supreme Court. Everybody has been setting the stage for projecting Israeli weakness, Israeli incompetence, and also Israeli non-justification or lack of justification for anything they do. So this is basically telling the enemy, go ahead and attack us